ぶつかっていて通り巻き分どうしたらいいもんかい部屋にはブンブン虫が飛んでんよなんだか変な匂いもするよウィザービーズバズコックじゃがから聞いてクリーンデイ短期気分どうしたらいいもんかいOh baby baby I wanna kill myself 真っ黒系の夜と真っ白系の朝 Baby baby ガールフレンドが欲しいよ世界のどこかにきっと僕を待っている人がいるくれよ Baby 僕に夢を見させてよ女子高校生 OL 青春グラビアアイドル汚れてくんかいパンツにバッチリシミがついてんよところでぽっかり穴が開いてんよ真ん中自殺とチェリーフィッシュスターリン聞いてビッグシップ溺れてくかい Oh baby baby 幸せそうな恋人たちよ天丼のコギリでバラバラにしたいよ Baby baby 手立ちをされたよ世界のどこかにきっと僕を待っている人がいる
Asomina. I feel like this is kind of like that field from the beginning of Kafka on the Shore, where all those like adults and students come up into this like clearing in the forest, and suddenly start like passing out and getting sick with aliens or something. And there's like there's this whole like military investigation, but then none of them can remember anything.
Kafka? Like Franz Kafka? I think I read The Metamorphosis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you think? I think I read that like in one sitting over last summer, and it just like totally messed me up. It's like proto Herzfeld type storytelling with like that just like hilarious but also terrifying existentialism.
I mean, it was alright. I just hated that class. She assigned Metamorphosis, and I read it, but I couldn't really tell you what it was about.
Was that Mrs. Kukenhoff? I think I have some friends that were saying that like she doesn't really focus on the topic of the course, but instead just like assign things at random that she likes. But of course, if she assigned Metamorphosis, like that's great. What a classic.
No, it wasn't her. She was my English teacher last year, and she was just bad too.
Oh, that's right. Last year. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a teacher who would just always assign things at random, you know?
Yeah. That's kind of what I was saying, I guess. But Kafka on the Shore. Yeah, that's a Japanese book by the author Murakami. I think a lot of things in general are described as like Kafka-esque, based on using his ideas of magical realism, like suddenly turning into a cockroach. Or maybe it was like had to do with the bad ending. Because like Herzfeld didn't really have social commentary in his stuff. I feel like his stuff might still be pretty Kafka-esque. I don't really remember. I only read the first 50 pages of the book.
Got to start feeling me
So what's been up with you? You're working at that turtle sanctuary now, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the turtle unit at our university. It's not like a separate organization or anything.
Yeah, that's super cool. I remember learning at a museum summer camp in middle school that like everyone's allowed to buy a turtle, but so few people know the turtles are supposed to actually eat. So people would think they were taking care of them, right? And then they would just like die way before they're supposed to from like indigestion or malnutrition or something. So that's awesome that y'all taking care of them.
Really? There's like turtle food brands and stuff. The turtle unit really isn't that much work. I've been trying to do a lot extra for it though. I want to get promoted to a higher position before next semester. Ideally, I'd be the student leader of the department for a year or two if I'm gonna get hired as a zookeeper right out of the gate.
That's awesome. We should totally be moving up with how much work you've been putting into it. Does a higher position mean switching up from animals, or is it like more managerial, like becoming the animal administrator?
Typically, upperclassmen get the larger animals, which is dumb since I did so much more than most of those coworkers currently do while I was interning at the vet high school.
So, are you trying to move up to those animals, or do you think you can just get straight up to something higher?
I really doubt they'll just promote me up to that, but most of the high workers last semester were seniors, so it should be a little short-staffed next semester, and I'll be able to take more responsibility.
Oh, okay. So I bet like you can definitely take one of those senior positions. I feel like most people won't seek out leadership roles, so there probably won't be that much competition. Oh, and you can pitch it as you're going to be there for multiple years. Your term won't be wasted trying to learn the works right before you leave. You could definitely do this. Have you started talking to them yet? You can probably guarantee your promotion now by just getting started and asking for it.
I don't know. I'm sure somebody better is gonna want it, but I think I can definitely become the lead of one of the other units.
What? You should totally take this risk. Qualification rarely matters. Success just comes to those who strive. That's why our society and all the companies are run by demons and fools. You could treat all the workers better, not just hardly deceive them with patronizing rants like your boss. But, I mean, as long as you're moving up, that's great. Plus, you have plenty of other stuff going on, right? Have you still been making those comics?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always making little one-shots about things that happen to me at work and stuff, and I guess I've had more time lately. I could probably begin one of those big ideas I have. I generally consider myself an idea person, though, and less of an execution person. In the last week, I probably wrote 100 things in my notes app, but most of my stuff is just about my daily life. I don't really know if other people would find that interesting.
It would still be pretty good for getting your stuff out there, though, right? Like, wouldn't it be good for other people to see? You probably don't want to just keep all of them to yourself. Where's the value in that? There's this whole idea of relatability to accessibility horseshoe that the Marcella Shell director was telling me about. Where the more specific you make something, the more people will actually like it because of its originality and the fact that each of those audience members is unique too. And then if everyone is being themselves and doing what they love, then all those niches could be covered. Understanding and goodness of artistic media is created at all levels of the cultural hierarchy. You might be able to seize one of those niches, even if it's just short comics about taking care of turtles or whatever you want to write, because you'd be the only one doing that.
That is pretty fascinating. I guess most of mine really just aren't share-worthy. I'd have to put a lot more work into them, and I feel like that defeats the point of why I do them. I don't really want to go that extra step just so they can be commercialized. They're my own little creatures in the world, you know?
I guess you do retain that full control over it right now. And you wouldn't want it to be tainted with the judgments of everyone else, whether they're directly provided or just received. I feel like often just the idea that something is going to be released to others in some way can completely change the execution of said thing. But then I'm thinking, like, after you die, if someone were to release it to the public, all the stuff you had been working on privately, that would be great. I think Kafka even did that. But then I guess having that idea somewhere in your mind beforehand would mess you up again, so you really can't win. Not you as in you, of course. I do believe you. I always will. It's just like, I mean, I guess they can win, or we wouldn't have all the masterpieces of anything that we have today. I guess a lot of the creators wouldn't find their works perfect, but the best might blame death for preventing perfection instead of permanent self-consciousness.
OMG, yeah. Everyone, including myself, and I guess you too, is always overthinking things. That's why I like to help these animals. There's all these discussions about how conservation efforts disrupt natural selection's attempts at restoring equilibrium, in a similar way to the anti-utilitarian arguments you always bring up. And there's the debates about the role or value or ethics of zoos. And there's the stuff about vegetarianism and veganism and the paleos and the stuff about speciesism. And there's those AMPRIM groups in the Amish, but also those people that live underground. Earthships are what I think they're called. We talk about biodegradability and recycling and how recycling actually hurts the environment with the rebound effects, which means we have to stop growing the economy. But then half the world's left starving while the other half's obese, and there's no social incentive for global fair wages and wealth redistribution. And Dazai says society doesn't exist, but is just a sea of individuals, and usually only perceived to exist with individual-to-individual guaranteed conflict and misunderstanding. The bees are going extinct. Hand pollination is too expensive. There's the polar bears and the ice caps and global warming and the Great Flood. And then there's the supervolcanoes and the asteroids and the combustion of the sun, all prepared to wipe us out at any moment. People look at the stars and drool on and on and on about the insignificance of all things, or holes sucking out all the air from your lungs, and scream at being unable to wake from the simulated nightmare, and dread our future of digital consciousness or religious singularities. I choose to marvel at the fireplace, eyeballs in the darkness, and appreciate the dream. All those troubles start to mean nothing to me, and I find immense joy in the faint beating life at arms, thousands of overthought thoughts circling through its head too. No truly recognizable sign of it, understanding the love I have for it, and mercy I'm capable of, and yet it has so much more power over me than I do of it, and I gaze at it, brimming with admiration and apology, bearing the burden of human guilt and our bad karma, feeling as if I will completely burst in despair. But the little creature opens its maw, and through an instinctive yawn, I am once again reignited with hope and care for all things. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. It will all be okay. It already is. Dazai says everything passes. Dazai says I am a good boy. Dazai says I am an angel. I am immune to the buzzing machinery around me. Only the soft sounds of nature touch my fragile disposition, and they draw me in, whispering, calling me into the complete balance and union of all things. Forget about purpose, questions, balance, or timing. Feel everyone, the true state of all things, now only, and there is no end. He says he just stands or walks and looks around him. I see life. A snail hidden in the crevices buried by damp leaves underneath our trotting feet. Birds whistling dubious cries, answered by the winds rustling the leaves in an instantly recognizable jingle and jostling insects from their vertical asylums. The leaves we call self-sufficient as they yearn with excitement each day for the rising sun, the downpour of rain, and are eaten by the snail. The ground is soaked by tears, baked by heat, disrupted by unstoppable movements hundreds of miles deeper than where the strongest roots can access. And this bundle of chaos cycles for centuries and millennia and millions and billions, and all I can feel is completely calm. I value life, love, the moment. Detached from the self, and my suffering is erased. I am surrounded by the dynamic essence of all things. There's no other world or salvation or peace or even good or bad. It's just life, existence. It's all here and around us, and with us, and part of us. Everything that will happen happens, and only what happens will happen. This speech will be permanently part of my limited life events and your limited life events, and your cameras and your microphones limited life events. And there's just enough. But then I begin to dive into the alley of consciousness, stretching out the beauty I've discovered from these places, permanently uncorruptible by man's colors. The darkness shines out over me, back from the jet black, and I'm filled back up with glow. The maximization of my joys replaced with worries about the minimization of my suffering, signal to noise. My rebirth is halted, and I am left in limbo, experiencing the thralls of death and everlasting, and with my blind eyes open. I choose to use the life within my hands as a means to move up our fabricated ecological ladder of success and power. I want to change, because I'm disgusted with who I am, afraid of who I'm becoming, afraid of being found out. Dazai drowned himself in a double suicide with his cheating female partner nearly 50 years ago and became famous for it. I do not like what is around me. I am not liked by what I am around. I value your determination, competition and ambition, and depth, confrontation of risk and failure. I channel those traits when they're unruly company across my lonely passion and don my clownish mask as they make of my forlorn daydream birds. A hidden narration of panic sparkling self-indulgent discourse that I would never speak myself.
It was dumb to hold so tight, but last night on your birthday in the kitchen, my grip was loose, my eyes were open. I felt your shape and heard you breathing. I felt the rise and fall of your chest. I felt your fall, your winter snows, your gusty blow, your lava flow. I felt it all, your starry night, your lack of light. With feel most of you. I hung around your neck independently, and my loss was overwhelmed by this new depth I don't think I ever felt. But I don't know, my nights are cold, and I remember warmth. I could have sworn I wasn't alone.
I think I've been making that mistake, focusing on my perception of self and values with no relation to the world that governs my provenance. I think you're helping me a lot with that.
That sounded like something Ringo would say.
Maybe I'm not so unruly after all.
I mean, I immediately regretted typing that yesterday. I mainly meant you seem to have such a high standard for everything, which I find really respectable. Running didn't work out, so you added on swimming and biking. It's annoying sometimes, and it can make me anxious, but it challenges me to get out there and do more. More of the wrong thing can be less, I guess. But I want to see where you'll go, so I'll keep working to stay up on your level.